Lighting is one of the most important elements when it comes to creating a cinematic image.
But no, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Intentionality is what makes a frame stand out. And limitations only serve to flex your creative muscle.
So today, we're gonna create 5 cinematic scenes lit with just one light. And the light we're gonna be using today is gonna be from our sponsor, the Zhiyun Molus X100 RGB light, made in collaboration with Cam Mackey. We'll showcase what this pocket-sized 100-watt light is capable of, the features that make it so versatile, and who it's for. But first, let's go ahead and create some cinematic images. For our first scene, I wanted to create something like an interrogation room vibe from like a crime scene. We're gonna have the light above us to create that overhead lighting, and to do that, we're gonna put the X100 RGB on this boom stand, on the C stand, and we're gonna raise it up and over where I will be sitting in the chair over here, and I'll be like looking at some documents, you know, looking all mysterious. These documents are actually just color options for shingles because we're replacing a roof. I know, really boring adult stuff, but pretend they're very classified documents that I'm looking at. And then on the X100 RGB, we have the Fresnel attachment to create a harsher light, and also the barn doors to contain that spill, so it's really just hitting the table and my face, so the background stays nice and dark. Color temperature wise, we're probably gonna go for something cooler or neutral to give that harsh, cold vibe. And we're gonna add haze, because haze makes everything more cinematic. So for the second scene, we're gonna do a little bit of a car scene, right? I'm gonna be sitting here, I'm gonna be on the phone, and my goal is to kind of create lighting on my face that's gonna replicate, you know, the bluish lighting that's coming from the infotainment system. And the nice thing is the Molus X100 RGB light is really compact. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the softbox on there to go ahead and soften up that lighting, add a little bit of a grid on the front so that way it doesn't spill too much, right? It's very directional is the goal I'm going for. And then in the HSI settings, or the color settings of the light, I'm gonna go ahead and set it to this blue color, and we're gonna go ahead and just shove it into the dash compartment. And now I can light this scene, making it look like it's coming from the infotainment system, but with a much brighter source, even though I only have this light at like 5%, but that's enough to kind of give me the proper exposure.
Incoming call from your wife.
Hey. No, I just got home. Yeah, when do you get back from your trip? It's been like 2 weeks. I miss you too. I'm really excited. I'll make you fried rice when you get home. I know, my special. Okay. All right, bye. And then for the third scene we're gonna do this like late at night, working at the desk, you know, with like a warm little light casting onto you. We're gonna be using a practical light in frame. We're gonna kill all of the house lights and just use that as a way to motivate our lighting source so that it feels more natural. We're also gonna be using a Bowens mount adapter, so that way the X100 RGB can be mounted onto a larger softbox to give us a softer look. And we're gonna position the light just about in front of myself, you know, a little bit diagonal front on, to create that Rembrandt lighting. And then for color temperature, I think we're gonna go ahead and set it to somewhere around 3000 Kelvin, so that way it matches the look of the practical light. Yeah, that looks good. And And for scene number 4, we're gonna go a little bit harsher, a little bit moodier, and we're gonna use the sconce in the background as that light motivator again, similar to what we did in the last scene. And off camera to the right here is where we're gonna place the X100 RGB. We're gonna use the Fresnel and the barn doors, that way we can control the spill. And we're gonna be sitting right over here in this seat. And as you can see, if I change the Fresnel, it kind of lets more light in, and I kind of don't want that to spill. I kind of want it to be really inky black and dark. And of course, to add more atmosphere, because I love haze, we're gonna try to haze up this semi-indoor outdoor area and see if that works. And for the 5th and final scene, we're back in the guest room again, and we're gonna do a little scene where I'm gonna be back over here by the windows, and we're gonna have moonlight coming through the windows. At least that's what the motivation is gonna be. We're gonna put the X100 RGB outside. We're probably gonna put it up about 8 to 10 feet, really as high as my light stand will let me. Angle the beam diagonally down towards the window using the Fresnel attachment and the barn door attachment so we can really spotlight this window, and then probably add some haze in here to create that atmosphere and throw the practical light into that corner. It's gonna be off camera, but it's gonna go ahead and cast a little bit of warmth, while the light outside is gonna be set to like 6,000 Kelvin to really push in some of that cool blue moonlight.
First of all, before we talk about the light, I want to first say how fun it was and how important it is to practice. Because while it's good to learn and study, nothing is better for improving your skills when it comes to lighting than putting it into practice, looking at what you've created and seeing how you can improve next time. The most standout thing about the design of this light is its size and form factor. The light itself is really compact and lightweight, with really just 2 control dials and a power button, making it really straightforward and simple to operate. To power it, you have 2 options. There's a 55 watt-hour detachable battery that can give you 34-ish minutes of 100% output. But as we saw, with varying intensity between 1 to 100% through the 5 scenes we shot over the course of 2 hours, the battery held up just fine. But if you have a longer shoot planned, or just want to set this up in your studio as a constant light, you can also power it with the provided AC adapter indefinitely. Back on operation, you can see all of your settings using the small LCD screen on the back of the light. Pressing the select button will let you switch between a color temperature mode with green and magenta adjustments, to an HSI mode, to an RGB mode, to effects modes for practical lighting effects, to a music mode that will pulse in response to loud sounds, all of which make this small, convenient light even more versatile than it already is. And if you're an app control Andy, you can control all of the settings we just talked about directly in their app, which is quite responsive. Plus, you'll have access to the color wheel, which is a much more intuitive way of setting a color on the fly. And my personal favorite has to be the color picker tool, which lets you use your phone camera to pick the color you want the X100 RGB to output. Next, let's talk about what you get in the box, the different kits you can buy, and also a surprise accessory that really blew me away. Starting off with the Pro Kit that Zhiyun sent me, you're going to get the X100 RGB in this excellent Cam Mackey co-branded storage bag. Inside, you'll find the X100 RGB light, the detachable battery handle, an AC adapter, and a power delivery USB-C cable. On top of that, you're going to get the Bowens mount adapter, which is really useful if you already have lighting modifiers. And then, in my opinion, the most useful accessory, and why I would lean towards the Pro Kit, are the mini Fresnel attachment and the magnetic barn doors. It's just so useful for controlling the spill of the light that makes this light so much more useful for lighting scenes intentionally. If you're interested in the Pro Kit, that'll run you about $449. The standard kit is a little bit more bare bones, with really just the X100 RGB light itself, the AC adapter, and a power adapter organizer bag, and for that basic kit, you're looking at about $269. And separately, the accessory that kind of blew me away, Zhiyun also sells a really compact spotlight attachment for this light that goes for about $99, and it comes with a little booklet of gobos you can use to create shapes of light in your scene. And personally, I'd pick up one of these lights just for the ability to use a compact 100-watt projector light. As always, if you're interested in checking out any of the products I talked about today, links will be in the description down below. I feel like this light would be right for you if you're just now starting to build out your lighting kit and you wanted to start off with something that was powerful enough to light a small scene, but also compact and versatile with all of kind of like the modern features we see in cob lights these days for video production. Things like effects, things like being able to control the color temperature and being able to do RGB. Alternatively, if you already have a lighting kit with like medium-sized to big-size lights and you're kind of missing that key small compact form factor for lights, this is really useful for scenes that require, you know, a bit more creativity in terms of light, like the interior of a car. The thing I really like about these lights is its size and weight. It's really easy to run these on smaller light stands or even be able to boom it over a scene without having to balance a large or heavy light over your talent. All right, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the light. Let me know, how did I do in terms of showcasing this light? Was it good enough or was it too shilly? You decide. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.